Hi everybody, it's Katie. I asked you guys to help me decide between Toby and Colton, and almost unanimously, practically all of you really wanted me to stick with Toby, who is who I originally had wanted for the island. Colton was my campsite villager, and I thought maybe he would work. I think he would have been great, but Toby was definitely the winner. I thought it would be super fun to go ahead and do Toby's build next, since I've just moved him into the island, and I'm going to put him kind of down here in this bottom corner of the map. I wanted to do another one of the cool lake builds where I did kind of like the citrus, lemon, and orange slices before, but this time with the little Sanrio frog face. I wasn't sure if this was going to work. In fact, I've finished it now and I'm not sure it's going to work, but let me show you what I did. Just like last time, I found an image of the Sanrio frog and I pulled it up so I could try and follow the different steps, just like I did with the orange. But all the images I found were much larger than the space, so I kind of put the image away and just sort of went by my instinct. Maybe not the best idea. Without any counting and just kind of chilling with the image and going until I was happy, I managed to get enough water and some of the path patterns down in an angle that kind of looks like a frog down here. The big reason why I did this is because I didn't have any water elements that I wanted to connect to the inlet to the ocean over here. So it was really important that the water go someplace or come from someplace or look like it was connected for a reason. Here's how it came out. What do you think? Does it look like a frog face to you? If your answer is no, don't answer me. I just, only if your answer is yes, because I worked really hard on it. The actual build for Toby is not the frog face. That's really just how I wanted to complete that water channel like I was telling you about. Most of what I'm doing for Toby is a candy shop. Like any sweet shop, I decided it would be fun to include little desserts or ice cream or anything in that category. So just a fun little sweet shop that could span across this path, both left and right. The first step was just to complete the path, and then I started putting down the really pretty bright tile to be the base. And I'm putting a little bit of a seating dining area on this left side, and I'm going to do the actual shop on the right side. I try to include all of the codes that you need for the patterns that I've used in the build. So if you're looking for this really pretty little yellow-orange one I'm using, or anything else that you've seen in this episode, you should be able to find it in the description of the video. Sometimes I forget to add one and I lose track of what I've used in the video. Just ask me in the comments if there's a code that you're looking for and I'll be able to get to it. I read every single comment that comes into my channel, 100%, even if I don't have time to respond. These beautiful medieval panels have been really great for the island because they have such a good vibrant yellow and even the green on them. So they kind of coordinate with the vibe that I'm going for. I've used them as the backdrop for the candy shop. I've dropped down a number of different things and decided I even need it to be a little bigger, so I've added a little bit more tile to the ground, but I'm just sort of fencing it off so that the area has a little distinction. It's actually a really good idea to divide areas you're working on because you get a little more depth in the build. So if something just looks a little bit flat, try adding a little bit further ahead of the build, or I guess even behind, depending on where you're working. Because I was working with Toby and he and the other Sanrio characters have so many really cute items, I thought it would be fun to start incorporating more of the Sanrio items into the build. They definitely seem like Kidcore to me. I've added several in a few different places and have tried to maintain a little bit of that playful vibe when I'm trying to decide which items to use. So I still wanted them to be relevant, but just, I don't know, extra cute, just a little extra fun. I expanded the tile over here on the left because I just needed a little more room for the tables to have space. They probably that wouldn't be the most important thing, but I just wanted a little more room, and having it right next to Toby's house actually kind of worked for me. I thought it was fun that it was super connected. This is, of course, Toby's area. It's his build, so it makes sense to have it right next to his stuff. I also started playing around with a little bit of the patchwork furniture just because it was so bright and colorful simple and wanted to do a little bit of seating down the path a few different places and added in just little details. The details were super fun here because they spanned a ton of different varieties. I even had a couple Easter items in here, of course the Halloween candy, some of the specialty foods. It was just real miscellaneous what went in. My favorite part was the really cute little patterns that I found, 2 custom patterns with a little bit of a scattered candy, and those looked great when they were customized on that shelf. You'll see the boxes on the shelf to the left of the stall. They actually have little candy patterns on them, which went a long way to bringing the build together. As is typical for me, the final step was to put in trees, flowers, and custom patterns. I fill, anytime I do a theme in Animal Crossing, I fill every single space in, either with an item or a custom pattern or both. This is just so that I can control where the design is going to be, but it just, I don't know, somehow feels complete. I might be weird, but that's okay. It's how I like to do things. All the custom patterns and decorating moved out onto the area where I did the frog face, which looks kind of odd on the ground, but that's okay. It's not really part of the build on the ground. It's just to make sense of the water and look cool on the map. The final build for Toby's candy shop makes me so happy. I love the way this coordinates with his personality. Not only does Toby have his own frog pond, which is appropriate, but Toby also has a candy shop, which perfectly matches his little outfit with the red and white stripes that he always wears. The little shop itself over here on the right has good dimension to it. It looks super fun to shop. And then the little area over on the left to sit and enjoy your snacks that you purchased and take the little path down to Toby's house. His entire house area is just up a little way from a path that goes down to the beach, and I love the little path looping around the cute green stuff in the area. Do you see? I even got a couple of those Easter items tucked in just as decoration. And then, of course, over to the left, we have the frog pond. Now, remember, it looks better on the map than it does down here on the ground. I know it's kind of odd, but it still sort of looks like a pond to me. I've blocked off some of the area so that Toby can't go disappearing out into the pond too far, and I can do a little bit of jumping, but the villagers don't do the jumps like I do, so I can get across fast if I want to. One way or another, I'm happy with it. I'm a little bit questionable on the frog, but I still like it better than just having this water open to the ocean with no meaning, and I didn't have anywhere to go with the water. So I'm going to consider it a win. I hope you found something useful here and continue creating in this game. Until next time, have the best Animal Crossing day.